Good evening and welcome to the Lowell Zoning Board of Appeals, March 19, 2019. We will open up by asking people to place their cell phones either on off or vibrate during the course of the hearing. If you wish to speak in favor or in opposition, please approach the lectern and sign your name and state your name for the record. We'll start off this evening under continued business, ZB 2019-5 for variance on Paneri. 31 Robin Street, Section 5.1. The applicant proposes to construct a two-story addition onto the existing two-family home at 31 Robin Street. The home is in a traditional neighborhood, single-family TSF zoning district, and the addition requires variance and approval under Section 5.1 for maximum floor area ratio and for any other relief required in the Lowell zoning ordinance. Should be noted for the record, tonight there was a revised submission for plans for Robin Street, as well as a revised comments. The revised comments are on the website, noted by DPD. Plans will be submitted into record this evening. Also a matter of record, Associate Member Mark Briere will be the voting member tonight. Good evening, and tell us a little bit about your petition during the continuance.
Good evening, my name is Judy Lim. I'm here on behalf of Paneri Inn of 31 Robinson Street in Lowell, Mass. 01851. I'm here in clearing of the variance for his multi-family construction. And our architect provided you an updated plan with the rooms.
And could you have a chance to review the revised comments by the DPD in the city?
Yes, I have.
Just so you're...
So I understand that it's under FAR, which is why we're here today to seek approval for the variance.
Okay. Do you have a copy of the comments, just in case you get questions from the board? Okay, perfect, thank you. Any other comments at this time?
No, I don't.
Okay, thank you. This time I'd like to open up public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak in favor? In favor? In favor. That portion of the public hearing is now closed. Any others wishing to speak in opposition? In opposition? Good evening, sir.
Good evening. My name is Robert Hunt. I live at 48 Florence Avenue in Lowell. I'm here to speak against this addition. I did take a walk by the house the other day, and it's really in a congested area. It is also, I would like to see the integrity of a TSF kept, and this certainly does not do that. That changes it. And I would also like to be able to see if there was adequate parking. I did not see the updated version of it, but it is a highly congested area.
Sir, if you would like to approach, we did receive revised plans. If you'd like to take a look at these tonight.
I have extra copies if
You
you
have
just want
extra
some.
copies? Patrick can help you. So this evening, revised plans were submitted. Just so you're aware for the public record.
Yeah, I do see this. I'd have to take a look at it. But I still think that the idea of a TSF should be kept, the integrity of that should be kept. It's already a two-family house. Somewhere along the line, there has been additions to this, to the original house, but you can tell the differences of the foundations. So I'm here to speak to try and keep it at that.
Very well, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Any others wishing to speak in opposition? In opposition?
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Joe Pierce, a neighbor that's been in the area for roughly 30 years. And I'm here again to voice what I said the last time I was here. The neighborhood is just becoming too congested. Too many single families have been converted into multiple families. It's starting to get to a point where traffic is an issue. It's already an issue. And we just can't sustain that kind of growth. I mean, years ago, this was a very green great neighborhood to raise a family, and really, that's what we want to see. We want to see families be comfortable, but at the end of the day, again, I don't feel that the neighborhood can withstand this continued unchecked growth. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any others wishing to speak in opposition? Ma'am, in opposition? Good evening.
Good evening. Karen Clasanos, 44 Robin Street. I definitely don't want to see this project advance. I can only reiterate what this gentleman just said. I have two neighbors on either side of me that could not be here tonight due to travel and work obligations, but it's getting to the point where people have been doing illegal additions, illegal modifications, paving their backyards. The kids are in the streets. There's too much noise, too many parking issues. It is not the neighborhood that I bought into when I moved there 20 years ago. It has totally been transformed. I can't even believe why anybody would want to buy in this neighborhood. This affects all of our property values. There's no room in that yard for more building. There will be no yard left. It'll be all building. It's totally a bad idea. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Any others wishing to speak in opposition? In opposition? In opposition. That portion of the public hearing is now closed. I'd like to open up to the members of the board. Van?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, to the applicant. First of all, I want to say thank you for all the updated plans, elevations, the floor plans. I think from the last meeting, you guys did a lot of work to try to accommodate the wish of the board and the abutters. Speaking of abutters, did you have any comments that you wanted to comment on from any of the neighbors or the abutters?
Yes, thank you for your opinion. So I know, yes, I mean, the residents are like a single family and it is a cluster, but as a growing family, we need more room in our homes and we just can't be in, so we wanted more space for our family to grow in. The picture here is saying as parking, we have, as you see, as off-road, the parking, we also have main inside, we park 4 cars. Yeah, and as you say, there has been, not made legal, but that's why we're here today, to have clearance from you for the building.
Okay, thank you for those
Thank you.
comments. And ma'am, you said you got comments from the city, right? I just want to address number 2 of the comment section from DPD, dated February 5th and revised on March 25th. It says the lot has a 20 by 20 carport on the property. This does not receive a building permit and exceeds a 200 feet square foot. It appears the carport does not have the 5-foot setback from the side and rear property line. This will require a building permit regardless of the outcome of the petition. What are you doing to address the carport issue on site?
So from the last time Ms. Panori Ann was here, he also from that week, he also did a permit for that, but we just haven't got that yet.
Okay,
So that
that's
will
in
be in the process, yes.
Okay, awesome. And I know there's been some talks about parking, but it looks like on comment 6 of the revised comments, it doesn't, you guys meet the parking requirements, so there's no parking variance required. Through you, Mr. Chairman, to Mr. Burns. Mr. Burns, is there any comments or concerns from like the traffic engineer department on this property?
No, we didn't receive any comments.
Okay.
Regards to that.
Hopefully that alleviates some of the concerns of traffic. Seems like it won't be any increased traffic because of this project. But overall, I think, I think you guys done a lot of work to try to accommodate the needs of the city
Yes.
and trying to do the right thing by the neighborhood and by the city. So I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Those are all the comments I have, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you. Mark?
I hear the concerns of the abutters. And I think a lot of neighborhoods are experiencing just what you are. The neighborhoods we all purchased homes in are simply not the same. They are more congested. I hear that. And I know that you're the one that's suffering from that congestion, as many of our fellow residents are. But unfortunately, I don't see anything in the comments from the planning department, any glaring comments that allows me to tell this homeowner that he can't do this addition. They meet the parking requirements, and if I heard you accurately, is that your biggest concern? When you say congestion, are you talking about vehicles on the road?
Excuse me. Mark, could you request answers from the previous speakers?
Yes, may I speak with the gentleman who rose in
Sir,
opposition,
please
please?
request too, if you mind returning to the lectern. Sir, if you mind just returning to the lectern, yeah, no, we're gonna allow the questions, he's got a couple of questions for you, and
When these
Appreciate you,
when
though.
the homes were built, obviously, there weren't as many cars on the road. And there was good quality of life as far as green space, neighborhoods where kids could get out and play, go in backyards. It's changing. You still with me? The density of the neighborhood is changing. It's getting too dense. Burt, Robbins, Belmont, we're seeing it can't sustain this kind of growth. The properties weren't designed to do that. The homes weren't designed to do that. And what we see is additions and additions that are changing the whole landscape in the neighborhood. And it's not just cars. It's a density issue. It's a quality of life issue. You know, I appreciate what the zoning board is doing here, and I understand your position too. You know, people want to grow. They want their homes to grow. We're not really trying to stop that as much as we're trying to say different parts of the city can only handle so much growth. The Highlands has been sustaining all kinds of growth over the years, from group homes to whatnot. And believe me, the neighborhood's not the same. And what you're doing is you're changing the whole makeup of the city. You're changing a section of the city that's, again, just can't sustain the growth. That's it.
thank you, sir. Mark?
I'll reserve further comment, Mr. Chairman, until I have an opportunity to hear from my colleagues.
Thank you. Dennis?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I just have a couple questions for the applicant. I'm just trying to understand the plans that were presented. So first of all, the plans that we are seeing for the first time tonight show a first-floor apartment. It seems that it has 6 rooms, a kitchen, dining room, a family room, a living room, room that's labeled storage because it doesn't have a closet. It has 2 windows. It could possibly be a bedroom, but it's labeled storage, and then 1 bedroom. Is that an apartment? Is that the first floor apartment? Is that correct?
Yes.
So it's a 6-room apartment, and it's labeled as 1 bedroom, but it could possibly be 2 bedrooms. And then the second apartment that has the addition attached has 7 bedrooms, as I see it on the plans, and it's, I'm sorry, has 5 bedrooms.
I'm sorry.
Has 5 bedrooms. I misspoke. The second apartment, you're asking to have an addition to accomplish a 5-bedroom apartment. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
And so this would then have a scenario where you have 1 apartment with 1 or 2 bedrooms and 1 apartment with 5 bedrooms, so the house could have between 6 and 7 bedrooms all told for the 2 apartments. Okay.
Yes.
And then in the layout that we have, it shows the 2 back bedrooms in the addition. In order to get from the back bedroom to the living room, or kitchen even, or the upstairs bathroom, you have to go through a bedroom. So the design of the addition shows that one of the bedrooms only has access to the kitchen or the upstairs bathroom or the living room through a bedroom, which seems to be a bit of an odd scenario.
Can I see the floor plan? I'm sorry.
It's the bedroom on the second floor in the top portion of the sheet.
Okay, so the top,
In order to get to the kitchen, you have to go through bedroom 2. Is that correct? That's the only access you have.
so Annie, that's the, anong living room no? So he says that that's the living room.
Bedroom 2 is a living room?
But the, Annie, get her, Annie. Get her back the kitchen from down Pina. I know, but then bedroom ni khơi get her kitchen tao put Annie but top, kitchen. But top.
Three bedroom and one kitchen, one room, kitchen, and living room,
Bedroom 2.
one.
Going through this bedroom? Does that make any sense?
Ani betul. Ani nak living room na. Living room na po. Anong closet. Living room because it's like
It's all the same level, right?
It's unusual for a bedroom to be set up as a hallway. Because, you know, anyway,
get her.
it doesn't really follow through. I don't know if that's the right answer.
That's the extension, right? So you're saying on the second floor of the bedroom, so that's the extension, the first floor, right? So at low, I mean, then first, then pina, ground or low, below. I know, but extension on first floor, right? At there. No, at there. I'm sorry.
While you're figuring that out, I'd like to ask a couple of questions of Patrick, if I could. And you can get back to me as to why the bedroom in the back is only accessible to the kitchen, living room through another bedroom, as though that second bedroom acting as a hallway. Because it doesn't seem to make sense that you would design a bedroom
Okay.
that you have to cut through in order to access a bathroom. Anyway, Patrick, on the pavement and the parking that you have on the site plan that we have in front of us, we have a parking space that's off-street as you access the site that has a 16-foot 1 dimension. Parking spaces in the city are required to have 18 feet in dimension. And in order to provide for a 3-foot offset for the property, are we approving a parking layout for 4
No.
parking spaces?
No, it's not really part of this project. I think it was asked by the board for maybe some clarification, but the parking as is isn't changing, but it doesn't really need to change because they provide for 4 spaces. And you are allowed stacked parking configuration for up to a 2-family, which this is to remain.
So you could actually have 4 spaces behind in the back
Yeah,
and not
Right.
worry about that space up front, which
Right.
doesn't comply with
right.
requirements, and still have 4.
But I mean, the fact that they use it isn't necessarily, it's kind of like, it's a pre-existing condition. And a use isn't changing through this project, so we wouldn't necessarily comply a property owner, or require a property owner to comply with a pre-existing condition.
Okay. Got it, all right. Obviously, we're asking for relief that's nearly double what the FAR is in the neighborhood. The FAR in the neighborhood is 0.35, and we're looking for a 0.60. So it's not quite double, it's like 40% increase. I mean, or, I don't know, 90, 80% increase, whatever, which is significant per zoning. It's quite a bit of relief we're asking for. And you're asking to change the bedroom count on the 2nd floor to have a 5-bedroom apartment, 2 living rooms, 1 kitchen, 2 bathrooms. Big apartment. Very, very big apartment. But one of the bedrooms doesn't work. It's a hallway, more than a bedroom. In order for that back bedroom to make sense, you've got to get circulation through there. So I don't know if you can even get that bedroom to comply with square footage, if you were to, because it's probably a 10 by 10 bedroom. I don't know. Anyway, do you want to tell me what's going on?
So the hallway, what you're talking about is on the 2nd floor, is that the top here? Is that what you?
So what I'm talking about is the back bedroom does not have access to the kitchen or the upstairs bathroom or the living room, common space, without going through bedroom 2, which isn't a situation that is, I don't know if it's, I don't know, I don't know what to say. Do you have bedrooms through bedrooms? Is that something that we ever worry about?
Not to my knowledge, no. I mean, I understand that it's probably not typical, but I don't know that zoning specifically would not enforce on that.
All right, well, I'm just seeing the plan and trying to understand the pluses and minuses. I don't like the density in the neighborhood. I don't like the large apartment having that many bedrooms. I don't know. I can't say that I'm for going beyond the FAR to that degree in the neighborhood. I think that that's stepping beyond where the board should be going. Anyway, that's my take. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. Sean?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, thank you. I'm a bit confused with the layout of the existing, or the bedrooms, or what's being proposed. Looking over the minutes from last meeting, I had asked Mr. Ponery, through his representative, what the plan was, and at first, the answer was that they were just going to add 1 bedroom to each unit. And then later on, it was asked and it was clarified that it was going to be, the first floor was going to have 3 bedrooms, and the second floor was going to remain 3 bedrooms. So now we got plans in front of us where we don't have any bedrooms added to the first floor. We have a great room, and we now have 2 more bedrooms added to the second floor, the second unit, which is the 5. And as Dennis had pointed out as well, the layout is just baffling. So, let me just ask the first question. What is the intention with the first floor? Because it says great room. I don't know what the intention is with that, like, what's Mr. Ponery's intention with just having a great room on the first floor?
ពូគេសួរថាពូចង់ដាក់អីបន្ទប់នេះ
បន្ទប់ណាប៊ីលថ្មីនេះ
បើថ្មី
ពូដាក់ kid 2 kid ពីរកូនពីរ
So he said that he was going to put his 2 kids in that room.
Okay, so that's the intention is gonna be a bedroom? Or is that just like a playroom for the kids? Or, I don't know, I'm trying to understand, because I understand, because as I recall from his submissions and from the last meeting, the first floor, that's where Mr. Ponery lives with his wife, his children, and his parents.
Yes.
That's a lot of people in one unit with one bedroom.
Right.
So I'm trying to get an idea of how the layout's gonna work here. And with just a submission that says a great room, it's not really intended to be a bedroom. I don't know, I'm trying to get an idea of how this is gonna work.
គេថានេះ great room ពូធ្វើបន្ទប់នឹងអត់មានគួរសព great room ហ្នឹងពូគេថាអត់ដឹងធ្វើបន្ទប់លេងពួកគួរក្មេង
ទុកដាក់ដេក
ស្រាប់ដេក
ឲ្យ sleeping
So he just said the great room is an extra room
Just an extra room
for the kids to put a bedroom.
okay. All right, how many people, on the second floor, I know Mr. Ponery has tenants, how many people are currently residing in the second floor unit?
ខាង second floor មានតែ2នាក់
2 នាក់ So when ធ្វើបន្ទប់នឹងទៅលើដែរហ៎ Or
ទាំង second floor ទៅ2នាក់
2នាក់ He said it's 2 people.
2 people reside in the second floor unit, and he wants to make it a 5-bedroom unit?
ផ្ទះថ្មីវាឲ្យនូហៅក៏
អត់ទេណាគេនៅទឹកនៅ floor ពូប៉ុន្មានអ្នកនៅនឹង
Excuse me, that is the old house or the new house?
The second floor, top of the house is where your tenants live, right?
ណាគេនៅលើពូ
Yes, second floor I rent for the 668 for the
ប៉ុន្មាន
city.
អ្នក
2 people.
Yeah,
But you're asking to convert it from 3 bedrooms to 5 bedrooms
yeah,
with 2 people living there?
yeah.
Okay.
For the 668.
Yeah, no, I'm just... And don't get me wrong, Ms. Ponery, it just seems that it makes more sense with your big family living there, with your parents, yourself, your children. You want to have more bedrooms instead of just the 1 bedroom and a great room down on the bottom floor. I don't know, I'm trying to gather how this is all how this all works. When you have 2 people who live upstairs with 5 bedrooms,
សំសិនឲ្យបិទ2នាក់
what you're proposing.
Yeah, for the 668, I don't know, for the housing, like that.
Okay.
but got that
All right, so it's your intention, I just want to make sure we're clear on this, because it was still confusing, it was confusing at the last hearing, and it's still confusing now, a little bit, I guess, unless this is what we're dealing with, because the last hearing, like I said, at first you were only gonna add 1 bedroom to each addition, 1 downstairs and 1 upstairs, and now it's the great room and the 2 bedrooms. Is that what's being asked of the board today?
So គេថាពីមុនពូមកថាគេថាពូចង់ក៏ប្រាប់គាត់ថាធ្វើតបន្ទប់ 2ទេណានេះឃើញ
Well, actually, let me clarify again, I'm sorry, because as I mentioned previously, we're now looking at, I guess, 3 different scenarios here. At one instance, last meeting, it was said that there was only going to be 1 unit on the first floor added and 1 unit on the second floor added. Then it was said that on the bottom floor, Mr. Ponery was going to add 3 bedrooms for his family, and the second floor is going to remain at 3 bedrooms. And now it's being submitted, no bedrooms on the first floor, a great room, which you're saying is probably intended at some point to work as a bedroom, and the 2 bedrooms on the top floor. So I just want to know which one are we dealing, is that the one we're dealing with right now? Is that your final submission to the board?
សបន្ទប់ហ្នឹង first floor ធ្វើមកបន្ទប់ គេថាចង់ពូធ្វើបន្ទប់ or ពីកន្ទប់ because ពីមុនគេថាពូថាចង់ធ្វើ3កន្ទប់ and then now ធ្វើ2កន្ទប់ so first second floor ធ្វើមួយកន្ទប់
second floor ពីបន្ទប់អាក្រោមហ្នឹង
គេថាតែគាត់ពូ change change so 2កន្ទប់ អាហ្នឹង second floor
second floor
and នឹងបន្ទប់
kitchen ហើយនឹង bathroom
so អានេះ be kitchen
kitchen bathroom fourth floor
អានេះនេះធ្វើអី
អត់ទេអានេះ
ធ្វើអានេះផ្ទះសង់
ផ្ទះសង់ថ្មី
ផ្ទះសង់ថ្មីអាហ្នឹងបន្ទប់មួយកន្ទប់
អត់ទេមានតែពីរបន្ទប់លើហ្នឹងអាក្រោមហ្នឹង kitchen bathroom បាទ
so a great room is អាបន្ទប់នៅក្រោម is what
kitchen ហើយនឹង bathroom
kitchen bathroom and then អាលើ
ពីរបន្ទប់
បន្ទប់
ដេកពីរបន្ទប់ដេក
and គេថាអានេះអានេះ
ផ្ទះនេះផ្ទះចាស់ទេខាងផ្ទះចាស់នេះផ្ទះថ្មី
okay all right I do apologize so I
worries.
just
I understand. That's right.
so he is saying that the great room is a kitchen with a bathroom in the closet. The second floor is going to be the 2-bedroom.
Okay. I'm still confused, I'm sorry, it's just, I understand what he's trying to, I will submit this, though, I'm not really keen on having the upstairs bedroom become a 5-bedroom unit, because that's a lot of bedrooms, and you only have 2 people living there right now, and I know, I'm not gonna, I mean, whoever, you can rent out to whoever you want, it's understandable, but for that area, that seems like a lot, for just to convert that into a 5-bedroom. I mean, if you were coming here, if you're telling me that you were gonna either convert the bottom stairs to 5-bedroom for your family, or or moving upstairs, because I understand you have a big family that you're trying to house. It's, I don't know, I'm just kind of, I'm struggling with that, so. The other thing, Mr. Ponery, I guess I can ask, that caught my eye too, is the back of the back of the building, you have the open space area there, next to the parking area, next to the carport. Look in the front, the front of the submissions with the cars in them. That's all asphalt, correct? The whole back area where the cars are?
No,
It's
there's,
not.
in the original site plan, it shows where the green space is.
Okay,
So he was just showing, I think, the cars there, but a portion of it is concrete, but there is green space also.
in the back?
Yes.
Okay, all right, I'm sorry about that. I just saw a comment about that, about asphalt that maybe we want to recommend
Yeah,
turning into
it's
green
like a
space.
suggestion is exactly to
Okay,
convert it
that's-
to more green space.
Yeah, I'll reserve to hear what my fellow board members say. I'm really struggling with this, the way it's laid out, with the 5 bedrooms on top, and what is technically speaking only 1 bedroom on the bottom. And, again, the layout on the top floor, as Dennis pointed out, where you're gonna have 2 bedrooms in the back, where 1 bedroom, you have to cut through 1 bedroom to get to the other bedroom, which just doesn't, I don't know, that just doesn't seem to make sense, so. But I'll listen to my fellow board members and go from there. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. I have several comments and then a couple of questions. Can we talk a little bit about the attic? When I look at the floor plan, with the attic space, what is the intention of the attic?
Attic no na po.
Is it gonna be stairs going to the attic? Is it gonna be a pull-down rather?
Attic po na.
So if you go to sheet 6 on the elevation site plan. You now have a configuration of a bedroom with a walk-in closet. What is the access to the attic consist of? Is it gonna be a walk-up attic, or is it gonna be a pull-down, and what is the intention of the attic space itself?
Okay. So attic nang min ha puto attic ban
បាន
puya e pi closet pull down or min chandal to le
មានដដែលដែរ
chandal nang pu yo cheng min nang to le or
អត់មាន
min
យកចេញទៅចន្ទាជួបហ្នឹង
chandal chot. Okay. And pu da e no le min
អត់មាន
da
អត់មាន
storage
អត់មានអីគាត់ដាក់អីវ៉ាន់ close it
and one. So he just said that there's a stairs and they use this as a storage.
So if we can go, thank you, if we can go back to the first floor plan. If we look at the first floor plan, my memory, going back to the last hearing, from what my memory recalls, we were looking to take the first floor, convert it to a 2-bedroom, and then place 3-bedroom on the second floor for a total of 5 bedrooms. So if we look at this first floor plan as I see it, I see 1 bedroom, the front of the home. I see a room in the back, which is the new addition, which is the biggest room on the property, which is labeled great room. We then heard that it might possibly be a playroom, then a bedroom for the children, and now it's a kitchen. Which leads me to question why there would be 2 kitchens on the first floor. So if I look at that great room, okay, we have a full bath off that great room. We have a full bath off the dining room. So is that great room? Is it a great room? Is it a bedroom? Or is it a kitchen? And if it's a kitchen,
Get out something
on the plans, there's no configuration for a kitchen setup, for a stove, sink, plumbing. So
can't do I need mean kitchen high.
you can just clarify what that great room is going to be. If it's going to be a kitchen, then it changes the entire plan. And then essentially, you're going to have 2 kitchens on the first floor, which is,
excuse me sir no kitchen the bathroom and living room that's it no kitchen
okay. So for the record, you're now telling me that it's going to be a great room. And my understanding, and from what you've explained to the board, is that the great room is going to be a playroom for the children. Whereas when a previous meeting, as Mr. Callahan had stated, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Callahan, I don't know if it was you or the builder, said the new plans coming in were going to indicate the first floor to be 2 bedrooms. So if I take my memory from the previous meeting, which, am I accurate, Mr. Callahan? It was gonna be a 2-bedroom? on
There
the
was,
first
at
floor?
one point, I do recall, Mr. Chairman, I actually looked over the meeting minutes, and I have them in front of me from that meeting. When I had asked the builder, or the gentleman who was representing Mr. Ponery, he said he was going to add 1 unit to each, 1 bedroom to each unit, 1 on the bottom floor, 1 on the top floor, making it 2 bedrooms on the bottom and 3 bedrooms on the top. And then Member Peck tried to have him clarify that in his thing, and then in his questioning. And then Mr. Ponery's representative said the bottom floor would then have 3 rooms, and the second floor would remain a three-bedroom. So that's where the confusion's lying on all this.
I concur with that, Mr. Chairman.
So you can see how, you can see the concern that the board has. We have a set of plans submitted. And in the board, in this, for the record, a set of plans that were incomplete the previous meeting. And questions to the builder posed by both Mr. Peck and Mr. Callahan, he did clarify what I was planning on looking at tonight would be 2 bedrooms on the first floor, 3 bedrooms on the second floor, for a total of 5 bedrooms. And now we're looking at a complete change. We now have 5 bedrooms on the second floor for 2-bedroom occupancy. And the second bedroom on the first floor is now turned into a great room. So I must agree at this, no, I don't agree, I'm not gonna agree with myself, but I must say it. I just don't see what the request is for the variance, because now the application submitted in reference to the plans are 2 different documents, and it's actually, it's not even the accurate variance request at this point. Am I missing something?
Well, I mean, it's still, I would still say it's still a FAR variance request.
Within inaccurate plans from,
And I'd also like to just say there's a little more issue with the structure itself on the Lowell website for assessor's information, the summary data. It calls out the structure as being 2.5 stories with finished space on the first floor and second floor and finished space on the third floor. And the square footage of the finished space called out on that card is 536 square feet, which might mean that there's additional rooms on the third floor, which we don't have a plan of, that might call out the fact that you have additional bedrooms on the third floor. I don't know. But it does seem like we're missing some information on the third floor. So it might be a 7-bedroom apartment that we're looking at if we count all the bedrooms with the addition.
Well, okay, I want to point out one other thing, Mr. Chairman, real quickly. I was looking over the plans. And again, Mr. Ponry, it's up to Mr. Ponry. But looking at the plans that are been submitted with the great room on the first floor, and then the second floor with the bedrooms, the additional 2 bedrooms, there are a set of stairways that are planned to go down there. And the set of stairways from the addition on the second floor go down to the first floor and empty into the great room, which is Mr. Ponry's property, which is Mr. Ponry's, what he's suggesting is going to be a room for a playroom or a bedroom for his children. That seems, and with a back door right there, there doesn't seem to be any shielding or anything, and it seems a bit odd. I'm not going to say odd, but I don't know if it's something that you want to consider having tenants from your second floor, if they have to exit the building, going down those stairs to come into what you're saying is going to be a bedroom or playroom for your children. Which, again, I don't know what the plan is on that, but these are, again, everything's so confusing and inaccurate, and I would either suggest, I mean, don't want to push this off any further. We have several members of the community who are here, neighbors, who have voiced their concerns on this. I would probably have no objection to continue it one more time, but I think there's so much issues, or not issues, but questions that Mr. Ponry may want to consider withdrawing this and going back to the drawing board. There's a lot to be done here. But I'll yield to what my fellow members may want to suggest, or it won't yield, but I'll consider it, and I'll consider everything. But those are my thoughts, Mr. Chairman.
thank you. Mark, you have any further comments at this time?
Yes, I'm further reviewing some of the notes and questions that I had asked at the previous meeting. And one of the questions I asked was a clarification on the layout of the structure. And I was specifically told that the owner occupied the first floor and that you were looking to add 2 bedrooms to the first floor. The second floor consisted of 3 bedrooms, and when there were no changes to be made to the second floor, for a total of 6 bedrooms, 3 on the first and 3 on the second. That's what I was told at the last meeting. Is that accurate? Is that the way the house is currently structured?
No, first floor មានប៉ុន្មានបន្ទប់ប៉ុន្មាន now
មួយ
now មាន
មួយ
មួយនៅលើមានប៉ុន្មាន
3
so បន្ទប់នៅក្រោមមានតែមួយណា so he's saying the first floor is 1 and the top is 3.
Okay, then that's consistent with what I was told. So what you asked us at the last meeting was to add 2 bedrooms to the first floor.
គេថាពីមុនពូថាប្រាប់គាត់ថាធ្វើបន្ទប់ពីកន្ទប់ទៀត
សុំ
នៅក្រោមពីកន្ទប់នឹងនៅលើអត់ឃើញតែបន្ទប់មួយកន្ទប់ទេអានេះ first floor ឃើញតែបន្ទប់ទេគេគាត់ថាពូថាធ្វើ2អានឹង second floor បន្ទប់អានឹង
second floor 2
second floor 2
អាក្រោមអត់ទេអាក្រោមតាបន្ទប់ទឹកបន្ទប់ទឹកតែហើយនឹង
គាត់ថាអត់សមទេគាត់សមមាន2នាក់នៅលើ and then មាន5 6នាក់នៅក្រោមមានតែបន្ទប់2អត់សម
With all respect, I don't understand the hesitation.
so ពូធ្វើពីកន្ទប់នៅលើឬនៅក្រោម
ពីទុំនៅលើហើយអាក្រោមនេះ
មួយកន្ទប់
I wasn't at the last meeting, but the proposed addition has been consistent from day one, which was a great room on the first floor and 2 bedrooms on the second. Now, in terms of what was expressed at the meeting, obviously I wasn't there at the last one, but I think there was some interpretation and relaying of messages that clearly was crossed. But from my comment memo dated in February, I noted that there was a great room on the first, which perhaps there needs to be some clarification on what the great room is. But then there was 2 bedrooms on the second floor.
Okay. How many bedrooms, your understanding is, how many bedrooms were they going to add to the first floor?
That one room, the great room,
Well, we were told 2.
right? But I
2
just mean the
bedrooms.
floor plans have been consistent, is just what I wanted to know,
I believe they're inconsistent now.
with what was said at the last meeting, but the plans themselves have been the same.
ពីមុនពូប្រាប់ថាធ្វើពីកន្ទប់នៅលើ
What I'm looking at tonight is not what I looked at the previous meeting. Absolutely not. I may be mistaken. If one of my colleagues could correct me, this is not what I looked at the last meeting.
The addition is the same.
I think Patrick's correct in that the plans for the addition did not change. We asked Mr. Ponery, through his representative, to provide us more clearer plans which had the full layout of the building, what the layout of the bedrooms were, what the layout of the kitchen, living room, all the stuff for both floors were. And yes, I agree with you, Pat, that the addition portion of it remained the same, because it was asking for a great room and the 2 bedrooms on the top. But at the hearing, when we're trying to clarify all this, and asked Mr. Ponery through his representative how the layout of the building was, what his plans were, there was, at one point, Mr. Brio is correct. It was gonna be 3 bedrooms on the bottom, 3 bedrooms on the top. So that's what was told,
Is that what these plans reflect?
that's not what these plans reflect, no. But that's what we were told at the last hearing,
Okay.
but this is not the plans are not what was expressed at the last hearing. And again, as you pointed out, the minutes point out, and, Chairman, Member Peck pointed out at the last meeting, there possibly was some translation, maybe, translation issues, so.
If I may, Mr. Chairman, through you,
Certainly.
I do want to agree with Mr. Burns and Mr. Beer and Mr. Callahan. The floor plans are kind of the original intent of the project. But I think through the either language barrier or interpretation and communication error, that's where the delivery or the explanation of the project kind of went awry. So I think Mr. Beard is also correct, and I believe Mr. Behrens is correct as well with his assertion. So I just wanted to know, and I think, and I'm pretty sure I'm looking at the minutes from the last meeting. I did request if Mr. Ponery or the applicant could have someone here to help,
Yes.
interpret or do some kind of communication, because there's a little bit of a language barrier. So I'm not saying that's an excuse, or I'm not saying anyone's right or wrong, but I'm just saying that's where the miscommunication or the inaccuracy lies. So I just wanted to point that out, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
And I do agree. I mean, the plans for the great room are accurate. The explanation of the bedrooms and the setup and logistics are not. And then we turn to a second floor now with 5 bedrooms, when we were told it was gonna be 3. So I do have concerns for density. I do have concerns for the accurate, the accurate layout of what is being asked and what is being submitted. I don't know how we got to 5 bedrooms on the 3rd floor. To me, we're at a max of 3 and 2, and now we're at 5 and 1. And realistically, it's 5 and 2 if we're gonna talk brass tacks. So, and then to consider Mr. McCarthy's point in reference to the overall square footage of the structure. And then my concerns with the walk-up attic.
It does appear that there's living space on the 3rd floor, and it does appear that the living space on the 3rd floor could be used as bedrooms
Right.
currently.
Yeah.
So there's additional space that's not being shown to us on these plans today.
Which, and then my concerns would further prove that we now have 5 bedrooms on the 2nd floor, an additional 1, if not 2 bedrooms on a livable 3rd floor, and this TSF has now turned into a 9, how's my math? 9, correct? 5, 6, 7, 9.
Yeah.
It's gonna turn into a 9-bedroom home. And again, I agree, if I look at the plans as a plan, and I look at and I take it at what it's being explained, as a great room, with 2 bedrooms upstairs. I can't get to the point and to get to the accurate math of the square footage and why there are so many bedrooms on the 2nd floor and now in light of what's on the 3rd floor. So I think we're tight as it is, extremely, we're almost at an overreach piece here as far as I'm concerned with the density, the square footage, and between what we're asking for and what the plans reflect aren't comparable as far as I'm concerned. And I think that even further into light with Mr. McCarthy's research, we will essentially it'd be difficult for me anyways to take a vote on a project where we don't even have the answer to an undisclosed question as of today with the attic space. And that's why I brought it up on the addition plan, because we're looking at a height of 12 feet. Looking at with a 9-foot crown. So if it's livable space now, it's gonna be livable space then. So I'm gonna make a recommendation at this point. We are on our 2nd continuance. I'm not a fan of continuance. Public has come twice. Plans have been submitted. Revised plans have been submitted, revised comments have been submitted. We have the carport issue. We have this, additional square foot issue. I would recommend either a withdrawal without prejudice and go back to the drawing board. I don't know, sir, and I'm not being disrespectful, I don't know if it's I don't know if it's the builder that's not being clear here, or I don't know if it's your wishes and intent that's not being clear and made from your thoughts and your words to the paper. Because it's impossible to connect the dots as far as I can see here. Those are my comments at this point. I think those are the only solutions at this point. I will say that if we do have a continuance for a third continuance, in fairness to the residents that have come out, and in fairness to other petitioners that have applications in front of this board, that, I'll yield to my colleagues to see what their thought is on a continuance, but if we are prepared to move forward with a continuance, I would hope that we take the time with DPD, with your plans, and clarify all these things, because it's, kind of feel like I'm trying to make a decision in a circle here, and there's no way we're not gonna complete the circle. As far as the withdrawal without prejudice, that's clearly something that you need to think about. You need to discuss that as well, but I do not see how we can move forward.
Mr. Chairman, I concur with your recommendation or suggestion to the applicant. I think there is way too much going on as far as what needs to be done on these, what needs to be shown up in the plans, and with all respect to Mr. Ponery, I think he needs to go back to the drawing board on this. And again, like you said, whether it's trying to get to what he really wants, or maybe it's not being translated right. But again, there's, like I pointed out, even the plans as stated with the great room, there's even more issues, as I pointed out, with the stairway leading into the great room, which he's now planned to be his children's bedroom, which you don't know. I mean, that's something that needs to, that's a safety concern that I think he needs to consider as well. So I would concur with your suggestion to Mr. It's up to Mr. Ponery, though, but that maybe consider withdrawing this without prejudice and going back to the drawing board and coming back in the future with once things are clarified. Thank you.
Any other comments from any of the board members?
Yes, Mr.
Yeah.
Chairman. I want to clarify something for the record, so that none of my comments are ambiguous. I initially started off by saying I didn't see anything in these plans, and then the comments from the planning department that would allow me to deny this petition. But upon further review, further assessment, and a review of the notes, I believe this project to be too dense. I do. And I don't believe it to be appropriate. And it does not fit in with the character of the neighborhood. There is some confusion with respect to the design, which unfortunately you were not able to illuminate anything, shed any light on that for further clarification. The configuration of the home has absolutely changed. As I stated, I'll state again, the two plans that I received are different. The way they connect to the addition are different. And as a result, there's great potential here for this to be turned into almost a 9-bedroom home. That is the potential for it. And that's what my problem is, because that is too dense a living space. It's not consistent with the zoning in the area. It simply isn't. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other board comments?
I
Dennis?
just want to highlight the fact that the GIS information that we have on the assessor's map calls out the effective living area at 2,950 square feet. With the addition, that brings it up to almost 3,800 square feet total living area in the home, separated into 2 apartments, but that's enormous for that neighborhood. And so I'm just trying to struggle with how a house needs to be that size in that neighborhood with this addition. So I'm disappointed that we don't have a clear picture of the structure, that we don't understand what's on the 3rd floor. And I'm disappointed that the plan changed, where we now have the bedrooms attached to the second floor apartment, and the previous set of plans that were submitted didn't have direct access into the addition from the second floor. So there might be a language barrier, but I do believe there's also missing information that should be in front of us to make a decision that would warrant us supporting a big FAR variance from 0.35 to 0.60.
Thank you. Any other comments, Van?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, and I do agree with you, Mr. Chairman, and my colleagues. Mr. Ponery, the recommendation that you withdraw without prejudice, it's no fault, nothing from you. I think it's to get everything in line with your planning and what you plan to only do on the first and second floor, and now a possibility for a third floor, just the intention of all those floors. So if you choose to go to withdraw, there'd be no blame, no fault, and you go back to your builder with your planner and just kind of be concise and consistent what you plan on doing on the first floor, second floor, and third floor. And, you have to communicate that too as well. If you plan to come back before the board, it has to be consistent with everything that the floor plan, the site plan, all the plans submitted to us has to be communicated as that too. It can't be, inconcise or, on the plans it says 2 bedrooms and then you say, I want a 3rd bedroom. So it just has to be consistent. So I do concur with my colleagues and you should really consider withdrawing without any prejudice. And you can come back when you guys are ready and everything's on point with your plans for the home. So I do wish you the best of luck. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Van. So you've heard the comments of the board and the concerns. Frankly, I don't think a continuance in this particular case is going to put us in a position where we're not back in the same position we are right now, frankly. Just speculation, but I think there's too many unfinished plans, unfinished questions, and it just creates a very difficult situation for the zoning board, as a regulatory commission, to review and approve this particular project. That's a quarter of it, as far as I'm concerned. To Patrick's point, the plans as a great room are accurate. The remainder of it is not. Any other comments?
Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry, it just dawned on me real quickly, and I'm just going to bring this to Mr. Ponery. I don't want to drag this on. I just want to make sure maybe we're not seeing what his thing, but it just dawned on me a little bit. Mr. Ponery, is it your intention, the addition, the 2 bedrooms on the top, are those to stay with the second floor unit, or are those intended to be used for the first floor unit? Yeah, but 1 bedroom, for the kids, the upstairs, and go up to the second floor.
Maybe we need to flip it. It should be on the first floor. I know you're talking about.
No, got so
I don't want to drag, that's just,
Yeah, either way, the plans are.
I don't like this, I just want to
How much
find
is
out.
what's gonna be the
We're still trying
entrance
to
and
find out what his
egress?
intention.
I need second floor, okay? Now, I need second floor, I need Puna.
នឹងពូនៅមួយហ្នឹងទៅហើយបាទកូននៅក្រៅ
ក្រោមណា
ចឹងណា
ក្រោមចន្ទទី1 ចន្ទ
ទីមួយតែនៅតែអូលហៅនេះ
គាត់គេឲ្យកូនក្មេងនៅខ្លួនឯងពិបាក So ផ្ទះហ្នឹង right បន្ទប់ហ្នឹងពូណាគេនៅហ្នឹងអាហ្នឹងជាប់ទេជាប់ second floor
អត់ទេ
អញ្ចឹងចូល
តែចេញចូលឡើងទៅលើ
ច ឡងទៅលើពី first floor so first so you know first floor អានេះស្ទះទៅបន្ទប់2បន្ទប់2អានេះ and then second floor មានតែខ្លួនឯងមានតែពីកន្ទប់ម៉ានកន្ទប់
first floor មិន
I mean set ជាន់ទី2មានកន្ទប់ម៉ាន
2ចង់បៀថ្មីហ្នឹង
អាថ្មីហ្នឹងជាប់ជាន់ទី2
ជាប់ជាន់ទី2តែចង់មកក្រៅ
ចង់មកក្រៅអត់so tenant អត់ទៅហ្នឹងឯង
ជាប់គ្នាណាលើ
so អត់ចូលពីបន្ទប់2ទៅក្រោមជាន់1
តែចូលទៅក្រៅវិញ
so okay
Yeah, I understand. We're trying to give Mr. Ponry obviously every opportunity to try to explain because we're all confused here. And that's one thing that I just can't dawned on me, that those 2 bedrooms on the top with the stairway that goes down to the great room, whether or not he's intending to have those 2 bedrooms be part of the first unit with the 1 bedroom, which makes it 3 bedrooms. And then,
going up and it separates the second
Yes, and then separates from the other 3-bedroom apartment.
correct
Yeah.
is that
អត់មាន separate ទេអាហ្នឹងជាប់គ្នាតែ
ជាប់នេះមាន floor ទី2អត់មានចូលទេ
អត់មានចូលទៅ
okay អត់ចូលទេ okay that's got past
I'm thinking either way, it's probably going to, well, I'm not going to say it's not going to make a difference. It's probably, I'm going to recommend that Mr. Ponry go back to the drawing board again, but I'm trying to get an idea, we're all trying to get an idea of what his true intentions are, and it seems that it's just too mucky, it's just too cloudy right now. But I mean, that was one thing that popped in my mind right quick, that was something of what he has been trying to express to the board, but it hasn't been made clear. So is that, I mean,
so
maybe it's more time, maybe it's just better off just to have him go back. And,
okay
you know, but that's, you understand where
yes
I'm coming from as far as what I've loaded in the layout, what I think may be an intention of his, that maybe it's not being made clear.
right
But the plans, even though, so the plans would have to be revised anyways to show shielding from the 3-bedroom unit, because as stands, as it looks, as the layout is right now, as it looks, there's a doorway right into that bedroom from on the second floor to that new addition, and it shows like it's a 5-bedroom unit, a 5-bedroom apartment. So, you follow me?
I yes
Okay.
That is
So either way, if that was his intention, he's going to need new plans anyways. So,
Okay.
but I'm just pointing that out. But again, with the recommendation, I still would concur with the chairman's recommendation on Mr. Ponry possibly considering withdrawing and going back to withdrawing and going back to the drawing board. So, thank you.
So just as a point of clarification, if you withdraw without prejudice, that allows you to come back with a new application. So what Mr. Callahan was referring to, I believe, was perhaps the builder had those on a flip. So, and that's another piece of the clarification. Was the great room intended to be on the first floor or the second floor, or was it all one structure to be part of the first floor, going from first to second? Which to a degree would almost bring maybe 2 or 3 more questions into play, but maybe at least answer one of my questions. Patrick, you have a
I just
comment?
wanted to clarify, just in terms of process and logistics, when you withdraw without prejudice, you have to reapply, you
Reapply.
re-notify abutters.
Yeah,
I just
Yeah.
want the applicant to be aware of that.
okay. So if you do withdraw, if you do make the withdrawal, it'll be a new application, new process, about a notice, postings. Frankly, it's the best way to preserve the integrity of the zoning board.
Agreed, Mr. Chairman, on the flip side, I want to give make sure Mr. Ponry is aware, if he doesn't withdraw and we proceed, and we go to a vote, and it's not satisfactory to him, then he can't reapply for 2 years. So, or he can't, it's 2 years, right?
Correct.
2 years, yeah.
So-
So those, I just want to make sure Mr. Ponry is aware of well, not what's at stake, but what's going on, so, thanks.
What we have on the, what we're looking at is a withdrawal, no prejudice, then it'd be a new application, a new process. If you go to a vote tonight and you get denied, then you are, there's a stop clock on your reapplication up to 2 years. So, quite frankly, I don't think a continuation at this point is gonna serve anybody any good, because it's kind of where we thought we would be today.
Withdraw mean get to tao một tiết get 2 years. Wanna reapply ban get if they decline who jump withdraw. Then you withdraw. To withdraw ban. He said he's gonna withdraw without prejudice.
Thank you. I think that's in the best interest of the petitioner, the neighborhood, the board, and particularly the zoning board, the zoning code. So with that being said, may I have a motion?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, on ZB 2019-5 variance for 31 Robin Street, Section 5.1, to be withdrawn at the request of the applicant without prejudice.
May I have a second?
Second motion.
Roll call, please.
Can I get the second on that?
I'll second it.
Chairman Perrin,
Accept withdrawal without
Member
prejudice.
Peck,
Accept withdrawal without prejudice.
Member Callahan,
Accept withdrawal without prejudice.
Member McCarthy,
Accept withdrawal without prejudice.
Member Briere.
Accept withdrawal.
Now, it also is to make just to make further that you cannot, the home needs to stay as existing as now. So you need to come up with a new set of plans, a new application in the whole process. The other thing that, Patrick, if you could give me your thought on it as it relates, since the carport was written up in the comments part, petitioner still should move forward with.
Yes, and he has applied for the permit.
Okay,
It just
so
hasn't
make
yet
the
been issued.
application. So there was comments about your application for the permitting process for your carport, so I would move in line with that to satisfy the comments of the city, because you need to comply with that. And then, once you're prepared with your new application, you can bring it to DPD, have a better clarification, and schedule a hearing.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, appreciate your time. Thank you for the residents coming out this evening and expressing their concerns and their patience.
Thank you.
Moving forward under other business, we have an administrative review at 350.4 at Dutton Street, ZB 2018-03. For a variance, the city of Lowell, property at 350.4 Dutton Street, section 6.1.10 and 10.3.8.3, parcel 14. The applicant is seeking an extension for previously granted variance for the construction of a new public parking garage at 350.4 Dutton Street, located in the Hamilton Canal Innovation District under section 6.1.10 and 10.3.8.3, parcel 14, and any other relief required of the zoning ordinance. Do we have any communications? We receipt of communications submitted to the zoning board. As you're aware, the city is looking to reconstruct a new parking facility on said parcel. Once the bids in the city was unable to move forward as the bids came in at the price the city is unaffordable. The evaluation by which these bids came in significantly higher begin to utilize a different procurement process along beginning some design changes will hopefully bring the cost of the garage back down. Since the construction of the garage will not begin with the year of the variance issuance from the board, DPD respectfully asks the board to consider extending the variance approval by 1 year in order for the city to have enough time to complete the redesign and ultimate procurement process. Sin City Joseph Janowitz, Urban Renewal Project Manager. All members in receipt of this?
Yes.
That being said, move forward with a motion to accept.
Through you, Mr. Chairman, on ZB 2018-9, make a motion to accept the letter of Urban Renewal Project Manager Joseph Janowitz, seeking extension of the variance for 1 year.
May I have a second?
Second motion.
May I have a roll call?
Chairman Perrin,
Accept the administrative review and extension.
Member Peck,
Approve the extension.
Member Callahan,
Accept administrative review and approve extension.
Member McCarthy,
Approve the extension.
and Member Briere.
Approval.
That being said, under business, we have minutes for approval for March 11th. All members have an opportunity to review the minutes. I did review the minutes online, although I was not here for the meeting, so may I have a motion to accept?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes from March 11, 2019.
May I have a second?
I'll second the motion, Mr. Chairman.
Move forward with a vote.
Chairman Perrin,
Accept the minutes, please.
Member Peck,
Accept the minutes.
Member Callahan,
Approve minutes.
Member McCarthy,
Approve the minutes.
and Member Briere.
Approval.
Also, under other business, I'd like to bring forward a motion through Mr. McCarthy. Mr. McCarthy is seeking a motion to request DPD to review the FAR for the Centerville neighborhood as it regards to zoning. And Mr. McCarthy, do you wish to speak to that?
The comment I'd like to make is that in the past, we've been getting a lot of requests or applications for FARs that are exceed the current FAR allowed in the Centerville neighborhood. And it seems appropriate for the city to review the current FAR requirements in that neighborhood to see if there should be some relief granted to increase the FAR or decrease depending on what they find.
Thank you, Mr. McCarthy. May I have a motion?
Can we just get a quick question? Just on, I agree with Dennis's assessment, but is that something we can only do by neighborhood, or we have to do that? Would that have to be something done citywide? I mean, is it possible? Well, I know we're just reviewing it, but I mean, is that?
I mean, the way the zoning works, there's not one necessarily district in Centerville, so, yeah, we wouldn't necessarily apply it to only Centerville. It would be the zoning district, I suppose, in that district that we look at, but then that would be reflected upon other districts in the city, not just Centerville.
Okay.
Right. No, I just want to clarify that. I mean, I didn't think that we could just do it by neighborhood. We'd have to do it by whatever.
Right, because it's just based on the zoning district itself.
Yeah, so,
In
but-
terms of how we accept applications.
Okay. With that, Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to accept Member McCarthy's motion to have the DPD look into the adjustment of the FAR based on what his recommendation. So.
Thank you. May I have a second?
I'll second the motion, Mr. Chairman.
May I have a vote?
Chairman Perrin,
Accept the motion.
Member Peck,
Approve the motion.
Member Callahan,
Approve the motion.
Member McCarthy,
Approve the motion.
Member Briere.
Approval.
Can you say we have anything else on the agenda, under the business? We have handouts for our next meeting?
Yes, I have several, actually. So next meeting, we have 83 Boulevard Street is a telecom reconstruction substation. Or not telecom, it's a substation reconstruction project. That's on the agenda for April 8th, as well as 55 Robert Street, which is a continuance. And then the following meeting, we have 6 items, and I have most of those handouts tonight.
Great, thank you very much. Any other comments?
Mr. Chairman, just real quickly, I do want to say, next meeting will be Kimberly New Year, so I may or may not be here, so just wanted to let you know in the board and the public. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Any
you,
other?
Dan. With that, I'd like to wish all of our Lowell citizens and colleagues and friends of Greek descent happy Greek Independence Day today. So,
Thank you.
go from there.
Any other comments? May I have a motion to adjourn?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
May I have a second?
Second motion.
Chairman, motion is accepted and meeting is adjourned. Thank you.